कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, जय निताय गौर सुंदर, जय निताय गौर सुंदर, निताय गौर सुंदर, जय निताय गौर सुंदर, जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय श्रील प्रभुपाद, जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव गुरुदेव, जय श्रील गुरुदेव। हरे कृष्णा, पांचांग प्रणाम्स टू एवरीवन।
हरे कृष्णा, प्रणाम्स। ऐसा लगा कि जैसे ठंडी ठंडी हवा आ रही थी और अचानक से बंद हो गई, सांस घुटने लग गया फिर से, और पता चल गया, पटक दिया फिर से वापस, जहाँ के हो वहीं रहो।
हरे हरे बोल माता जी, रियली माता जी, हरे कृष्णा।
इतना अमृत सुनने को मिला है, 2-3 घंटे तो अच्छे जाएंगे।
Thank you so much.
I really envy your husband and your family. गुड़ की डली दी हुई है भगवान ने, मिश्री की डली दी हुई है, खाए जाओ, आनंद लिए जाओ।
घर में माता जी एवरीवन टेक्स इज लाइक, वो तो घर में मैं गाती ही रहती हूँ ना, तो मेरे निताई गौर सुंदर भी बोर हो जाते सुन सुन के।
हाँ, ऐसा नहीं है, वो बोल रहे हैं कि बाहर भी सुनाओ। और हमेशा ही ऐसा होता है, घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर ही होती है।
यस माता जी।
देखो, सो डैश क्या जाने अदरक का स्वाद। समझदार को इशारा।
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you so much.
Antaranga Mataji has not yet joined. Do we want to do Radha Madhav till the time she joins?
Oh, is it Antaranga Mataji or Susevika Mataji?
Antaranga Mataji is what I have been told, and I called up Narayani Mataji, so she said I'll just again remind her. I called Narayani Mataji that the speaker has not yet joined.
ये मेरे साथ बहुत होता है, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए।
Okay.
We can do
जय राधा माधव करेंगे अपन।
Mataji.
भगवान की इच्छा है, हम कुछ नहीं बोल रहे।
जी माताजी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी, जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन, यमुनतीरावनचारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरावनचारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जयो निताय गौर सुंदर। जयो निताय गौर सुंदर। निताय गौर सुंदर। जयो निताय गौर सुंदर। जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद। जय श्रील प्रभुपाद। जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव गुरुदेव। जय श्रील गुरुदेव। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरशत श्री श्रीमद् हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रील एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्णा। Mataji has joined. I saw the messages.
Yes, Mataji. Anjana Ganesh Mataji has joined. Her initiated name is Anjana.
Oh, okay. That's what I was wondering.
Antaranga Mataji.
Okay.
I don't.
I am not aware. But Anjana Ganesh Mataji?
Yes, Maji, I'm sorry, I couldn't get time to rename myself.
No problem,
issues,
Mataji. And
Mataji.
welcome to you. And I will make you co-host. And we are on YouTube Live. We have already started. Yeah. Welcome. We have already done Radha Madhav, so you can start because I think it is 13 minutes, 15 minutes late. Hare Krishna.
We'll start with Mangalacharan.
Sure.
Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakhya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् मदैकबन्धु मत्सङ्गेन मद्गुरो मन्महाधन मन्निस्तारक मद्भाग्य मदानन्द नमोस्तुते Hare Krishna. First of all, I beg forgiveness from all of you for joining late. Just I was with my little daughter and she was not letting me go. So I couldn't come on time. I became a bit late. So I please beg forgiveness from all of you. And today we are going to read from Srimad Bhagwatam, Canto 4, Chapter 1, text 28 onwards. Correct? Yeah. So what is the name of this chapter? This chapter is entitled
Genealogical table of the daughters of Manu.
Of the daughters of Manu.
Manu. So what is so who is speaking these verses?
Maitreya Muni.
Vidurji.
Vidurji.
Vidura.
And Maitreya Muni is speaking to Vidurji. Who is telling this?
Atri Muni.
No. This subject
Suta
matter is
Goswami.
Suta Goswami is
Suta
telling to the
Goswami.
sages, Mataji.
Suta
Sages
Goswami is telling this to the Shaunakadi rishis
Tells
at
the
19. Yeah. So this is a incident quoted by Suta Goswami to Shaunakadi rishis that once upon a time when Vidura and Maitreya met, they discussed these topics. And who are now Vidura and Maitreya discussing about? They are discussing about Swayambhuva Manu. Swayambhuva Manu is the father of mankind. The word Manu itself means the father of mankind, from whom all the Manavas, all the man and the mankind came. So Swayambhuva Manu is a very special personality himself. You have already read of how Swayambhuva Manu appeared. From whom did Swayambhuva Manu appear?
Brahma.
Lord Brahma. And how did he appear from Lord Brahma? Did he come alone?
No, he came with his wife Satarupa.
Shadaruba.
His wife Shatarupa. Even though both Swayambhuva Manu and Shatarupa were they came out simultaneously, they appeared simultaneously from Brahma, still they were born as couple. They were born as husband and wife. So that is being very detailedly explained by Srila Prabhupada. So a very special personality who was brought by the mercy of the Lord through Brahma when Brahma was in complete chaotic situation of how the creation will further proceed. Because whomever he had created until he created Swayambhuva Manu were all causing disturbance rather than helping him create. Like for example, the Rudra came and he began to create ghostly entities. And then the Kumaras appeared before, and then Kumara said, we will not help you in creation, we want to do tapasya. So like this, a lot of issues were coming for Brahma in creating. And in that kind of situation, when he took shelter of the Lord and with a clean, concentrated mind, he prayed to the Lord. At that time, Swayambhu Manu and Shatarupa appeared. And they were the Lord's empowered blessing for the creation to continue in a very proper way. So here we're discussing about the family tree of that Swayambhu Manu, especially his daughters. So this fourth canto, actually in third canto, we already began the description of the daughters of Swayambhu Manu. In third canto, which daughter story had come?
Devahuti Mataji.
Devahuti. So how many daughters Swayambhu Manu has?
Three daughters, Mataji.
3 daughters and 2 sons.
Yes. So that is how this chapter begins. Maitreya Muni says Swayambhu Manu begot 3 daughters. Their name were Akuti, Devahuti, and
Devahuti and Prasuti.
So we already discussed about Devahuti, and now the discussion is going on about Akuti. So what is, we discussed some, you have already learned some very special things that happened with Akuti. Like for example, who was Akuti married to?
Trimuni. Trimuni.
No, Akuti was married to
Ruchi
Prajapati Ruchi. So like Daksha is a Prajapati. Like that, there are some certain personalities who are empowered to be Prajapatis, and that is a very powerful post, the post of Prajapati. So like that, there was one Prajapati Ruchi, and to him, Swayambhu Manu handed over his daughter Akuti. So there is another beautiful lesson that Srila Prabhupada explains here of how the parents, they hand over their daughter to a very responsible and proper husband. We found this in third canto itself when Devahuti's 9 daughters were handed over respectively to 9 sages. So then what happened? Ruchi, he had one male child, Akuti and Ruchi, and that was the Supreme Lord himself, Yagya. So that is why there is the description of this family of Swayambhu Manu is so important. Because in the family of Swayambhu Manu, Supreme Lord himself has appeared so many times. We already saw one incarnation which was Kapila Muni. He already appeared as the son of Devahuti. Now we again see how Ruchi and Akuti had a son named Yagya, who is again the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. So like that, we are discussing this family of Swayambhu Manu, which is so special. And today we are in this verse 28. Let us read verse number 28. Somebody will recite Mataji, 28th verse.
Yes, Mataji. Naimisha Mataji, you can recite the verse. Mataji, you want us to recite the read out the translation and the purport both, or only translation?
We'll read the purport. The purports are very small for this section.
Yes, Mataji. So Naimisha Mataji, you can recite the shloka. Paramprabha Mataji can do the translation and purport both. Just small only. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
एको मयेह भगवान् विविध प्रदानैः चित्तीकृत प्रजान्याय कथं नु यूयम् अत्रागतास्तनुभृतं मनसोऽपि दूरद्भृता प्रसीदता महान् इह विस्मयो मे. हरे कृष्ण माताजी.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. I called for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, desiring a son like him, and I thought of him only. But although he is far beyond the mental speculation of man, all 3 of you have come here. Kindly let me know how you have come, for I am greatly bewildered about this. Purport. Atri Muni was confidently aware that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Lord of the universe, so he prayed for the one Supreme Lord. He was surprised, therefore, that the 3 of them appeared. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Danvat Pranam.
Danvat Pranam. Okay, so now very interesting. Atri Muni prayed for the Supreme Lord to appear as his son. That was his desire. For that, he went to the mountain called Riksha, and there he was performing tapasya. So this is the story now going on. So when he prayed for the Supreme Lord, three personalities appeared in front of him: Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. So why did three personalities appear in front of him?
Because he wanted a son just like the Lord. He didn't
So the
specify
Lord only
that he
appeared.
wanted. They gave him the choice to choose.
There is one more reason that Srila Prabhupada also says, very specifically he points out in his purport. It's a very important point that is also seen when in third canto, when we were reading about Kardama Muni. That time also Prabhupada specifically mentions this pastime of Atri Muni, and he mentions in his purport that Kardama was not like Atri Muni. Okay, so Atri Muni, Srila Prabhupada says, this is in text number 20. Prabhupada in the purport says, it appears that great sage Atri had no specific idea of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He wanted a son exactly like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he did not have the correct idea of who exactly is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He knew there is one Supreme Person, but he did not know who that person is. He must have been conversant with the Vedic information that there is a Supreme Personality of Godhead who is the creator of the universe, from whom everything emanates, who maintains the creator manifestation, and from whom the entire manifestation is conserved after dissolution. So, Atri Muni concentrated his mind upon that Supreme Person, even without knowing his name, just to beg from him a child exactly on his level. This kind of devotional service, in which knowledge of God's name is lacking, is also described in Gita, where the Lord says the four kind of men with backgrounds of pious activities come to him asking for what they need. So, Atri Muni, he had a material desire. He wanted a son who is like the Supreme Lord. Whereas we see Kardama Muni, he did not even desire for a son. He only desired, Kardama Muni's consciousness was, he was provided with a service by Brahmaji to help in taking the creation ahead. So he took that as a service that he got from the Lord, and he aligned his mind with the service of the Lord, because actually Kardama Muni did not want to get entangled in family life. He wanted to perform tapasya and go in advance in his spiritual life and go back home, back to Godhead. But then his father is coming with this instruction, saying this is the instruction of the Supreme Lord that you should get married and have children. So his idea is clashing with Brahma's idea. But he understood that Brahma's order is actually the Lord's order, and he immediately accepted to align his mind with Krishna's plan. And what did he do? You have given me the order that I should get married and have children. So you should only find a proper wife, my dear Lord, so that I can, so that my spiritual life is not hampered when performing this service. So he only prayed to the Lord so that he can perform his service properly. His service will not happen properly. He prayed, and then the Lord appeared. He knew who was the Lord. The Lord appeared, and out of so much happiness that my devotee is so devoted to me, he is ready to do anything for me. He is ready to completely align with my desire. He has no desire of his own. Kardama Muni had no desire of his own. Whatever the Lord desires, I will follow that. So then the Lord himself blessed him with a son, him as himself as his son as Kapila. Whereas here Atri Muni, he is having his own material desire that I want to have a son like the Supreme Lord. He is desiring that. And therefore he is like a pious man who is going to the Supreme Lord with this desire. But Atri Muni, he did not know who is the Supreme Lord. He knew that there is one Supreme Person, but he did not know who that person is. So such a great sage like Atri Muni, even they have this confusion that who the Supreme Lord is, because that is how the Vedas are presented. When we read the Vedas, it is so complicatedly presented. It is so complex that by reading the Vedas, the Puranas, the Upanishads, we cannot arrive at a conclusion who is the Supreme Person. It's the Vedas are very complex, and they provide different alluring aspects, in course of description. So people get stuck somewhere, or even after reading everything, if they don't take the proper shelter of a person who has seen the truth. What is that verse in Srimad Bhagavad Gita? Pariprashnena sevaya.
Advidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadeksanti te jnanam jnanina tattva darshinaha.
So the last word is important. Tattva darshinaha. If we want to understand the Supreme Lord, if we want to understand the import of Vedas, we have to go to a tattva darshinaha. A person who has seen the truth, because by reading this we cannot understand anything. We can see here Atri Muni is such a great sage. He's the so he's having Dattatreya as his son. So you can imagine how powerful sage he is. But still he is unable to understand who is the Supreme Lord. But when we go to a pure devotee, they have the Lord in their heart. Sri Narottam Das Thakur in his song Ebara Karuna Koro Vaishnava Goshai, he says, Tomara Hridaya Sada Govinda Vishram. In the heart of pure devotees, Govinda is always there. So these Tattva Darshinaha, they have the Lord in their heart. So they know who is the person of God very easily. Therefore, we should try to understand the scripture through their knowledge, through their guidance. Then we can understand. So therefore, because Atri Muni did not know who the Supreme Lord is, when he prayed, all the three personalities came. In their level, Brahma in his own level, for this material world, this material creation of this particular universe, Brahma is the supreme person. He is the supreme personality. So Brahma appeared. Shiva is the supreme person in his own way. And Supreme Lord Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, as we know. So all the three supreme personalities, they appeared in front of Atri. And now Atri is surprised that I asked for one, now three have come, what to do? So therefore, he is asking them directly that why have you all come? Now let's go to the next verse.
Hare Krishna. Kripamai Sita Devi Dasi Mataji, you can recite the shloka. Ramakrishna Prabhu do the translation and Sudha Mataji the... Acha, we don't have the purport. Mataji, next shloka. Hare Krishna.
No, not audible, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, you couldn't hear me? Kripamai Sita Devi Mataji, you can recite the shloka. And Ramakrishna Prabhu, you can do the translation. Hare Krishna. Am I audible now?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, now you're audible. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Maitreya Vacha iti tasya vacha srutva trayasti vibhu darshana sabaha pratyutu lakshnaya vacha rahasya tam tisim prabhu. Thank you, Mataji.
Translation. The great sage Maitreya continued, upon hearing Atimuni speak in that way, the three great deities smiled and they replied in the following sweet words. Hare Krishna.
You can do text immediately.
Hare Krishna. Sudha Mataji, you can recite the shloka, and Divya Mataji, you can read the translation. Sharmila Mataji can do the purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam. Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yes, Mataji.
Deva uchuhu yata kritaste sankalpo bhavyam te naiva nanyata sat sankalpasya te brahman yad vaidhyayati te vayam. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, translation from Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The three deities told Atri Muni, Dear Brahma, you are perfect in your determination, and therefore, as you have decided, so it will happen. It will not happen otherwise. We are all the same person upon whom you were meditating, and therefore we have all come to you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
The answer of the three personalities. The three personalities are replying together. Deva Uchuhu. All the three personalities, the Supreme Lords, they are addressing Atri Muni simultaneously. And they are saying that your determination was so strong, and therefore we have all appeared. We have all the three same persons. So now we have come to bestow the blessing you had asked for. That is why we have come. Atri Muni asks, why have you three come? So they are saying we are all three the same personalities, and we have come because you asked for one blessing. Now, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport how each personality is considered the supreme. So you can read the purport.
Hare Krishna. Purport: by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Atri Muni unspecifically thought of the personality of Godhead, the Lord of the universe, although he had no clear idea of the Lord of the universe, nor of his specific form. Mahavishnu, from whose breathing millions of universes emanate and into whom they are again withdrawn, may be accepted as the Lord of the universe. Garbhodakashai Vishnu, from whose abdomen sprouted the lotus flower, which is the birthplace of Brahma, may also be considered the Lord of the universe. Similarly, Kshirodakashai Vishnu, who is the supersoul of all living entities, may also be considered the Lord of the universe. Then, under the order of Kshirodakashai Vishnu, the Vishnu form within this universe, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva may also be accepted as the Lords of the universe. Vishnu is the Lord of the universe because he is its maintainer. Similarly, Brahma creates the different planetary systems and the population, so he also may be considered the Lord of the universe. Or Lord Shiva, who is ultimately the destroyer of the universe, also may be considered its Lord. Therefore, since Atri Muni did not specifically mention whom he wanted, all three, Brahma, Vishnu, and Lord Shiva, came before him. They said, since you were thinking of having a son exactly like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord of the universe, your determination will be fulfilled. In other words, one's determination is fulfilled according to the strength of one's devotion. As stated in Bhagavad-Gita 9.25, Yanti Deva Vrata Devan Pitran Yanti Pitravrataha. If one is attached to a particular demigod, one is promoted to the abode of that demigod. If one is attached to the Pitas or forefathers, one is promoted to their planet. And similarly, if one is attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, one is promoted to the abode of Lord Krishna. Atri Muni had no clear conception of the Lord of the universe. Therefore, the three presiding deities, who are actually the lords of the universe in the three departments of the modes of nature, all came before him. Now, according to the strength of his determination for a son, his desire would be fulfilled by the grace of the Lord. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So Srila Prabhupada has very clearly explained what happened and why the three personalities appeared and how the three are the Supreme Lord in their own ways. And there is one more thing I was remembering is there is another section in Srimad Bhagwatam where there is one more person who did not know who the Supreme Lord is. He did not specifically know who the Supreme Lord is, but he was calling out to the Lord. But in his case, only the Lord appeared. Can anyone say who is that?
Gajendra.
Dhruvad Mataji.
Dhruva knew. Narada Muni gave him the mantra specifically, Vasudevaya. He knew who the Lord was. Gajendra, as you said, he did not know who the Supreme Lord was. But he was unspecifically stating the qualities of Supreme Lord and calling to the Lord. So when he mentioned all the different qualities of the Lord that time, by each quality he was each demigod who they all the demigods were coming in the sky and they were hovering around to protect, they were trying to come, but when they saw him addressing, they when he would say each quality, oh no, I don't fit in this category, like that each of them were ruling out. And finally the all the qualities, when he said understood only one person who fits this quality was Supreme Lord Sri Hari, then the Lord himself came and protected Gajendra. So like that, here Atri Muni, he was not knowing the name of the person nor the qualities. He knew the Supreme Lord. And so Supreme Lord could be of this particular universe is Brahma. Brahma's in charge is Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. He can also be considered the universe. He can also be considered the Lord. But Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, from his navel only the entire lotus is coming. So he is the super soul of the Brahmanda. And then the super soul of Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, or the super soul of this entire material cosmos of the millions of Brahmanda, is Karnodakashaya Vishnu, from whose pores of body in each inhale and exhale, the universes are coming out and going back in. Now, Karnodakshay Vishnu, from where is he emanating? He is emanating from the quadruple forms of Sankarshan, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Vasudeva of the Mahasankarshan. And Mahasankarshan, from where he comes? He comes from Lord Balaram himself. Balaram or Sri Nityananda Ram. And Nityananda Ram is an expansion of Sri Krishna. So this is all very wonderfully explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita of how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Very specifically, very nicely. And the essence of that, so here when one reads this purport, when a common man reads this purport, or when a common man hears the passive Atri Muni, for example, what will he come to the conclusion? Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, all are one personality. They are all the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is a very common idea among the Hindus we find today. If you ask who is God, God is one. We can accept him in different forms. Shiva is also God. Brahma is also God. Vishnu is also God. Devi, Kali Mata is also God. All are God. Because here we see when Atri meditated on the Supreme Personality of God, all three came, and it is in Bhagavatam itself it is told that all these three are Supreme Persons. So how do we know who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or what is the differentiation between them, and how can we establish that they are all powerful personalities, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is Asamordhva, there is no one equal or higher than him. That personality is Shri Krishna. He is the summum bonum of this entire, of all spiritual and material world. So that is beautifully explained. Very simple. It's such a delicate point which is not able to be explained in the Vedas. The person who has read Vedas, he himself is confused, Atri Muni. Srimad Bhagavatam, of course, very beautifully explains it as Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam in Canto 1 itself. The verse, Ete Cham Sakala Pomsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. This verse comes in Canto 1, and that verse is known as the Paribhasha Sutra of Srimad Bhagavatam. What is the meaning of Paribhasha Sutra? It means this line is to be remembered, and when you read Bhagavatam ahead, anytime you feel confusion, there is any discrepancy you feel in the verses of Bhagavatam, you have to refer to this verse, this statement, and that which complies with this statement is the correct conclusion. So therefore, that Bhagavatam clearly says Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. But in layman's language, for a simple commoner to understand, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he wrote a song, Tumi Sarveshwareshwara. And in that song, for a simple common man who does not understand Sanskrit or much English, or who is not very intellectual to understand the scriptures, in simple Bengali language, he has explained how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I wanted that we should read that song today when we are reading this chapter. So he says, Tumi Sarveshwareshwara Brajendra Kumar, Tumara Ichhai Vishves Rijana Samha. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is directly talking to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tumi Sarveshwareshwara. You are Sarva Ishwarera Ishwara, which means there are many Ishwaras, there are many lords. But of all the lords, you are the Lord. Sarveshwareshwara. And who is that to me? Who are you? You are Brajendra Kumar. You are the son of the king of Braja. Brajendra. Who is Brajendra? The king of Braja, Nanda Maharaj. And his son, Brajendra Kumar, is Shri Krishna. So very specific, the first line of the song. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna. Which form of Krishna? That form of Krishna who is in Braja, who is in Sri Vrindavan. Tumi Sarveshwareshwara Brajendra Kumar, Tomara Ichhai Vishves Rijana Samhar. It is ultimately only by your will, Tomara Ichha, in your desire, that in the universe, Vishves Rijana Samhar, there's creation, annihilation. Then what about Brahma? He says, Tava Ichha Mate Brahma Karena Srajana. Tava Ichha Mate Vishnu Karena Palana. Only by your will, O Brajendra Nandan, Brahma creates. Vishnu Karena Palana. Vishnu maintains this universe. Tava Ichha Mate Shiva Karena Samhara. Tava Ichha Mate Maya Srije Karagara. Only by your desire, Lord Shiva, he does samhar, he destroys. And only by your desire, Maya Devi, Srije Karagara, this whole prison house that she is in charge of, she creates it only by your desire. Then Tava Ichha Mate Jive Janama Marana Samriddhi Nipate Dukha Sukha Sanghatana. Tava Ichha Mate Jive Janama Marana. By your desire only, my Lord, the living entities, their birth and death is scheduled. Samriddhi Nipata, prosperity, Samriddhi, and Nipata, of going to ruins or becoming poor, and Sukha Dukkha, the happiness and distress. All these things a layman will think is given by this demigod. If I worship this demigod, I will get happiness, I will get prosperity if I do Lakshmi Puja, I will get prosperity if I do this puja, I will get a good house if I worship this personality. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, no, ultimately everything is your will, my Lord, Tava Ichha. The demigods, they are only acting on your behalf. But ultimately everything comes by your will. If the Lord does not desire, then none of these demigods can do anything. Miche Maya Baddha Jiva Asha Pashe Phire Tava Ichha Bina Kichu Korite Na Pare. Miche Maya Baddha Jiv. We conditioned soul are Baddha. We are tied by Maya. And we are just roaming around Asha Pashi Phire. We are actually struggling. And Tava Ichha Bina Kichu Korite Na Pare. The us conditioned soul, we are tied by Maya, which is under his influence, and we cannot do anything without the Lord's sanction. Today I'm speaking, we are having prasad, we are walking around. Nothing we can do by ourselves. It just, this song, it shows how helpless we are actually. We can't do anything without the Lord's sanction. I can't speak, I can't walk around, I can't eat, I can't sleep, I can't see. Everything actually happens only by the sanction of the Lord. We are all just tied by Maya, and everything that is happening is only by his sanction. Tumi to rakshakara palaka mara tomara charana vina asha nahi yara. You are the protector, you are the maintainer, you are the rakshak, and you are the palak. And without your lotus feet, other than your lotus feet, tomara charana vina asha nahi aar. For us, conditioned soul in this material world, there is no ray of hope except the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. What is the meaning of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord? Lotus feet of Supreme Lord is the place where all the saintly people reside. Srimad Bhagwatam repeatedly says, why is the Lord's lotus feet so special? Because why is the Lord lotus feet compared to lotus? Because just as around the lotus always lot of bumblebees are there, similarly the Lord's lotus feet is always surrounded by bumblebee like devotees. So taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord's lotus feet is our only hope. The Lord's mercy is our only hope. All these statements actually mean, what is the meaning of saying mercy of the Lord? Krishna Kripa Shri Murti. Who are they? The Krishna Kripa Shri Murti is Prabhupada and his disciples and our Acharyas, Vaishnava Acharyas. So devotees of the Lord, they are actually personification of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is again confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam when I think Vidura Muni only says, Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani. No, Yudhishthir Maharaj tells to Vidura when he comes back to Hastinapur. He says, Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Swantastena Gadabrata. The holy places, the Tirthas, are called Tirthas because the devotees reside in them. Why when devotees reside? Because in devotees, the Supreme Lord is present. And where this, they are carrying the Supreme Lord in their heart. So wherever this pure devotees walk, that place becomes a tirtha. So the real purpose of going to holy place and taking shelter is actually to associate with pure devotees, by which we get association of the Supreme Lord directly. So therefore, taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord or the mercy of the Lord is actually taking shelter of the devotees, associating with devotees. So Tomara Charana Vina Nahiyar Asha means there is no hope for us in this material world except the devotees of the Lord. Nija Bala Cheshta Prati Bharasho Chadiya Tomara ichha yachit nirbhara koriya. So therefore, having understood, for a common man, Bhakti Thakur is saying, this is the truth. Understand that the Lord is the controller of everything. So what should be our mood after getting this knowledge? After realizing this knowledge, Nija Bala Cheshta Prati Barasha Chadiya. We have to give up the confidence on our strength and endeavor, our bal and our cheshta. By our effort and our strength, nothing can happen. So therefore, leave the confidence in this. And actually, we should have the real confidence in Tomara Ichai, in your desire, in the mercy of the Lord. We should have full faith. Bhakti vidoda ati dina kinchana tomara ichai tara jivana marana. Finally, Bhakti Thakur says that I am the most fallen person, ati dina akinchana, and my pride has been leveled today. Having come to know the real situation of the conditioned soul in this material world, how helpless we are, Bhakti Thakur says, my pride has come down, which is his humility that he's saying so. Now, Tomara Ichai Tar Jivana Marana. My living and dying all depends in your hand. It's all in accordance with you, in your will, which means the devotee, when he understands and realizes the position of the Lord and who the Lord is, he completely molds his life in accordance with the desire of the Lord. Oh Lord, this life is yours. Whatever you want, let it happen. I'm ready to flow with whatever your desire is. So you want me to live, I will live in your service. You want me to die, I will die in your service. So such a very profound, very deep philosophy in such a simple Bengali language, so sweetly Bhakti Thakur has explained to us. That thing which is even secretive, which is so confidential and so difficult for great sages to understand, that knowledge is given to us by our Vaishnava Acharyas in such a easy and such a simple way. So therefore, when we read this, we find, no, Atri Muni doesn't know that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. What is this? It looks such a small thing, something which every ISKCON devotee knows when he comes to the movement. The first step we know is Krishna is Supreme Lord. Such a great sage Atri. So sometimes when we read Bhagavatam, we feel these sages, sometimes, they make things too complicated. Why are they so confused? It's such a simple thing, we feel. But actually, we don't realize that it is simple for us because it is actually not so simple. It is made and it looks so simple for us because of the hard work of so many Vaishnava Acharyas. The philosophy beginning from Narad Muni, when Vyasdev, in Canto 1 we see when Vyasdev wrote the complex Vedas and Puranas and Vedanta Sutra, Narad Muni comes and chastises. He says, for Kali Yuga people, this is of no use what you have written. You have to write something that is only directly glorifying the Lord and explaining his supremacy. That is how Srimad Bhagavatam was born. We are reading Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is so nice. When we read Bhagavatam, we feel everything is so simple. That itself came by the mercy of Narad Muni. He made it easy for us. He gave the knowledge to Vyasdev. He blessed him, and Vyasdev had the vision where he saw the Supreme Lord Krishna. And then he composed the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is directly only glorifying Krishna and establishing Krishna as the Supreme Prophet Godhead. So we have Bhagavatam. Beginning from that day of Bhagavatam being born, our Vaishnava Acharyas, they have come in different times. Till today, they are performing this task of making Krishna consciousness easy for us, making the absolute truth very simple for us. Otherwise, actually, this knowledge is not very simple. Therefore, it is said that we are the most fortunate souls, actually. Brahmande Brahmite Kuna Bhagyavanji. We are such fortunate souls that we are able to get this knowledge. Yes, let's proceed to the next verse.
Anita Mataji, you can do the shloka and the translation. 31.
31, Mataji, isn't it? 30 we finished.
Yeah, 31.
Hare Krishna Mataji, should I read?
Yes,
Sanita
Mataji,
Mataji, the
shloka and
shloka.
translation both.
Okay. तस्मात् अंशभूतास्ते आत्मजालोकविश्रुताः भवितारो अङ्गभद्रन्ते विसृप्यन्ते च ते यशः. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. You will have sons who will represent a partial manifestation of our potency, and because we desire all good fortune for you, those sons will glorify your reputation throughout the world. Hare Krishna. How will be the sons of Atri? Loka Vishrutaha, very famous in the world. And they will glorify your reputation. So therefore it's called, the sons were called Dattatreya. The name of Atri was connected to their name. So that everyone knows that they are Atri's son, and Atri Muni's glorification would increase. They would bring fame to Atri. So this is the duty of children. The duty of children, sons, they have to bring fame to their parents. This is sometime when what is bringing real fame? Real fame is bringing real good fortune is bringing them to Krishna consciousness, or helping them in Krishna consciousness, or taking them back home, back to Godhead. This is the real fortune and fame that one can give to one's parents, to anyone, of course, to everyone. But as children, we all belong to our parents, and when we have children also, this is what we have to teach to them. So that this is not only for the family, like mother, father and child, but this also, Prabhupada says, applies for the entire society in general. Because praja, what is the meaning of the word praja? All those who are born, prajayate. So the king, he has to consider the praja like his children. So what is the duty of the king? Prabhupada says the prime duty of administrator or of the king is to make all his praja, who are all his children actually, they all have to be made Krishna conscious. And in this way, one is perfect parent. This Bhagavatam is very beautiful. It explains that one is not a pita nasasya, janani nasasyat. One is not a proper mother, one is not a proper father, one is not a proper guru, if one does not bring the dependent, the son or the disciple or the citizen to Krishna consciousness. And Bhagavatam also says, what is the real duty of a proper son or of proper children? They have to bring all their relatives, their parents into Krishna consciousness. This is explained in Prahalad Maharaj's pastime. When the child becomes devotee, the parents and many generations before them are all, the Lord accepts them as and blesses the family members. So therefore, it is everyone's duty, actually, as Bhagavatam says, it is every person's duty to become Krishna conscious and thus bring good fortune to all associated to oneself. Let's proceed to the. So that is how these three personalities, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, they have blessed Atri, that each of us will have a partial manifestation who will appear as your son. So you will have three sons, and these three sons will glorify you for eternity.
Hare Krishna. Evam kamavaram dattva pratijagmuh sureshvara sabhajitastayo samyak dampatyohi mishatos tatah. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thus, while the couple looked on, the three deities, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwar, disappeared from that place after bestowing upon Atri Muni the benediction. Hare Krishna.
The three personalities, they performed their duty. They were pleased by Atri, they bestowed the benediction upon him, and they disappeared. And these two, Atri and Anasuya, they are looking at each other as all of them disappeared. 633.
Anybody wants to recite text 33? Chandana Mataji, you can do the shloka and the translation. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams. Text 33. Somo Somo bhut brahmano Shena datto Vishnostu yogavet Durvasas Shankarshayamsho Nibodhangirasa prajaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thereafter, from the partial representation of Brahma, the moon god was born of them. From the partial representation of Vishnu, the great mystic Dattatreya was born. And from the partial representation of Shankara, Lord Shiva, Durvasa was born. Now you may hear from me of the many sons of Angira. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So 3 sons Atri Anasuya had. From Brahma's potency, moon god Soma appeared. From Vishnu's potency, Dattatreya, a sage. He was the great sage Dattatreya appeared. And from Shiva's potency, Maharshi Durvasa. So 3 sons Atri and Anasuya had. So another important lesson we get from Atri Anasuya pastime is who can tell me like how this Atri Anasuya story came into mentioning in Srimad Bhagavatam? This whole story in a very detailed way. Why did Maitreya Muni say?
Mataji, is it for the Satis, Sati and Daksha that passed him for that?
No.
For Dattatreya, Mataji.
No, like as we see in this chapter, what does Maitreya Muni say? He says, okay, they had this many daughters. This daughter married this person. They had these were the children name. Next, he immediately says the next family. This was the daughter. He was handed over to this person. This is the name of their children. So that is how it is happening. In ahead also that is how it happens. Okay, next is Angira's sons. So Angira married Shraddha. They gave birth to 4 daughters. And then these daughters are married to so-and-so. And then like that, it just mentioned. There's no story of how these were born and all mentioned. So suddenly, why for Atri only, he gave this description?
Because he is begetting the Supreme Lord, Mataji, in one of his...
He's begetting?
Supreme Lord, he has prayed in his previous birth, so for the Supreme Lord to get as a son. So like Supreme Lord he has told, but the Lord says, like me, no one is there. Only I have to be born to you. So like that.
That is one reason, but the reason why Maitreya Muni told the story in detail was Vidura. Vidura is setting the example of a perfect disciple. So actually Maitreya, he did not have the intention of telling the story in full. In verse 15, Maitreya Muni just says, Anasuya, wife of Atri, gave birth to 3 very famous sons, Soma, Dattatreya, Durvasa. They were partial representation of Vishnu, Shiva and Brahma. That's it, he says. And then he is going to proceed to telling the next family's name. But then Vidura immediately stops and he says, after hearing this, Vidura inquired from Maitreya, my dear master, how is it that 3 deities, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, who are the creator, maintainer, destroyer, became the offspring of Atri? Immediately, Vidura catches the point. He says there is something special over here. There is some more nectar kept over here, which Maitreya is just passing over. So he is very inquisitively asking. So then in the purport, Prabhupada says, the inquisitiveness of Vidura was quite fitting, for he understood that the super soul, Lord, when the super soul, which is Vishnu himself, Lord Brahma, and Lord Shiva all appear through the person of Anasuya, the wife of Atri, there must have been some great purpose. Otherwise, why should they appear in such a way? So therefore, he asked this question. And then Maitreya Muni, he tells this entire pastime, which gave us a break from the family story. Like it goes into one family in detail for around 10 verses. And then we come back to the normal course. So therefore, as disciples, as students, when we hear Bhagavatam, we should be very, very attentive and very inquisitive. That is the qualification that Vidura shows. Very attentive. The reason why 3rd canto, 4th canto is so huge is because of Vidura's inquisitiveness. He's very attentively hearing, and whenever he finds that some details or some big pastime is being shortened, immediately he will catch and he will ask Maitreya, oh my dear master, please explain me this in detail.
And the teacher also, Maitreya, is so happy with Vidura's this way of questioning that he feels the encouragement and he feels the enthusiasm to relate more and more to Vidura. So that is a beautiful lesson that we should learn from Vidurji, of how we should hear Srimad Bhagavatam with great eagerness and great attentiveness. So with this, I think I was given 20 to 33. So we have come to the conclusion of this section. From next class, you will be hearing the more details of Angira's family and then the other families of Swayambhava Manu. And just hearing these names, because they're all great personalities, it may look very boring or not so important to remember and all. It's difficult, of course, to remember all these names, but just hearing these names, they give great benefit. That is why they are mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. The very point that these names are coming in Bhagavatam means they are great personalities. So we should be very happy to hear the names of these great personalities. Ratra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Atri Muni ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for that nectar. Because if neophytes, they try to read, they feel, oh, there is no purport. Oh, okay, there is no explanation. 2 line. But as Srila Prabhupada has already said so many places that Srimad Bhagavatam, the nectar is not just reading the lines, but in between the lines. So you have taken us through the in-between lines, rightly like Vidura. So let's see if we have any questions. Mataji, would you like to take 1 or 2 questions?
Yes, Mataji. If there are questions, we can have.
Yeah. Anybody for questions?
Kripamai Sita Devi Mataji, you've raised your hand for reading or you want to ask a question?
Mataji, reading only, Mataji, reading.
Hare Krishna. Shobha Mataji, you want to ask a question?
Yeah, Mataji.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandrat Pranam. Thank you for the wonderful session. Mataji, just one small query, like you said that a duty of a parent is to bring the children into the Krishna consciousness. I think it covers not only children, then it should be our relatives, close relatives also, Mataji. We should try at least to tell them and bring because I am trying, Mataji, but somehow not succeeding at all. So just wanted to ask, like, if we are trying for this but not getting success, so are we failed in have we failed in Krishna consciousness, or only the endeavor matters?
Of course, the pure endeavor only matters, because, like we saw in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's song, everything depends on the will of the Supreme Lord. We have to do our best, and if it doesn't happen, then we cannot do anything about it. But we have to put our effort. So we find but we should. Every soul comes with their own vasana, their own karma, and their own one set of mindset. So that is also playing a big role in whether they accept Krishna consciousness or not. So, and as the first question, as you asked, whether it comes only for children, no, of course, in that same verse that comes in Rishabhadev section, it says Bandhu Nasasyat also. So, one is not a proper well-wisher or a proper relative if one does not try to bring them into Krishna consciousness. So, basically, it means that any dependence we have, then we should try to inform Krishna consciousness to all of them, and to whatever degree we can enforce, we should try to enforce. With children, we can enforce to a higher degree than we can enforce on relatives. So to whatever degree we can, we enforce and we try to preach to them. They accept or not. We even find devotee children also, sometimes they don't become good devotees. They are not so much into Krishna consciousness, one leg in Krishna consciousness, one leg in material advancement. They want both sometimes. So that is also there. So therefore, it is not that failed. It is just that we have done our part. Rest is the part of Krishna and that particular living entity. Like Prabhupada says in Canto 1, Pandavas retired timely, chapter 15, when Draupadi She is also retiring along. She's also walking along with him. He says in the purport when Draupadi falls down. I mean, she not falls down. She is not able to proceed ahead, and she stays in one place. Prabhupada says in the purport, everyone has to fly their own flight. So we can help to one extent in the runway, but flying the flight is all up to the Jiva and to the Supreme Lord. That connection is between them. So it is not that we are failed, but our duty is to try our best to give them Krishna consciousness.
Okay, okay, Mataji, thank you. And one another query was, Mataji, like it might feel very, I'm not that intelligent. That is why simple, Mataji, that Atri Muni was confused about who is the Supreme Lord. So was Bhagavad Gita was there that time also, Mataji. So why did he read the Vedas and not went through Bhagavad Gita? That part I could not understand.
So first Atri was not confused. He had no idea. Prabhupada says he was not confused. Rather, he had no idea or a proper conception of who God is, who is the Supreme Person as such. And naturally, Bhagavad Gita was also there. Of course, all these subject matters, Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, Bhagavatam, they are not that they are born at certain time. Of course, it may look like according to timeline, this would have happened in Satya Yuga, and Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita was spoken in Kali Yuga, but that is defeated in Gita itself. Krishna says that I spoke the same knowledge to Sun God many thousands of years ago. So therefore, that knowledge is existing always, and surely Atri Muni would have read that also for sure. But because the whole Vedic science is so complicated, it is not that everyone understands who the Supreme Lord is. In fact, we see what to speak of Atri, great series like Brigu. He went to the Supreme Person and he was testing Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma, who is the Supreme Lord. And he went and kicked Vishnu on his chest. So one may question that how a person who does not even know the greatness of the Lord can go up to Vaikunta, go into the Supreme Lord's place and kick him. So this is all pastime of the Lord also. That is also one angle. It's all the pastime of the Lord. And another is the Vedic knowledge, the Munis, there is a saying, there is no two Muni whose conclusion will not match. Will match. Always these Munis, Muni means mental speculators. Two Munis will never have the same conclusion. They'll always differ. So Muni means they speculate. They do a lot of mental speculation. So therefore, that is also a point. So surely you would have read everything. They're all great rishis. And they have a lot of mystic power. They have a lot of perfections. But because of the complexities, I mean, just a joke. What came to my mind, ISKCON was not there during Atri Muni's time. It would have been nice if it was there.
Yeah, Mataji, we should be thankful to our acharyas and especially Srila Prabhupada for giving us things in such a simple manner that even fallen souls like me can follow that. And thank you so much for your explanation, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Divya Mataji, you can ask your question. Mataji, we can take the question, right? You are okay with it? Yeah. Divya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for the wonderful class. Mataji, this might be somewhat silly or something. Whenever we search for Dattatreya, we see that image wherein three faces come, and while googling also it says that they are the three gods came in one, like that they show. But here it specifically says that Vishnu's avatar, like Vishnu's partial potency, like that is given. So that is confusing. And in one of the series, like we should not refer to the movies and all the I know about it, but in one of that they were showing like these gods and they wanted to test the chastity or the purity of Anusuya Mata, and so for that reason these three gods came and all those activity happened, and she made them child that I had seen. So I just wanted to clarify, Mataji, further about Dattatreya avatar.
Personally, Mataji, I do not know much about Dattatreya, but I also have seen these three faces, deities of Dattatreya. Srimad Bhagavatam, as far as I have read, I have not come across this much description about Dattatreya in Srimad Bhagavatam. Maybe in the cantos ahead it is there, I'm not sure. But I do not know. But here it is very specifically mentioned that there are three independent, different personalities, and we know that all these three were always separate. It is not that later they became one, because Durvasa Muni has his own pastimes. Moon god Soma is there, and he has his own pastimes, and I mean activities. And Dattatreya, as a sage, he had his own pastimes. So these three personalities became one. That is surely ruled out. That cannot be there. But Vishnu's potency, Dattatreya, did he have three heads? That I'm not sure. Could be and may not be also. I cannot say on that. And this pastime of Anasuya being tested, I have also heard, but I don't have any special reference for it. So I would not take that also in with genuinity. Maybe we can ask some senior devotees who will be able to tell this.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, in connection to this question, we can ask her if where she has read, so that we can clarify that, because if she has reference from where it is, Mataji, so that you can put it in the group and then we can reply you.
Yes. No, Mataji. It was like generally in some series or movies like that. It was so I was not particular about it.
Sorry to say, do not believe into
Yeah,
the
yes, Mataji. While asking question
movies,
itself, I said we
because
should
it's a
not
big
refer to
business.
that. Yes,
Yeah.
Mataji.
Thank you. Any other question?
There's a question in the chat box, Mataji. Shanti Mataji is asking that was moon god's birth only then, or was he there before?
It looks like it's only then the moon god appeared during Atri Anasuya's time.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for the wonderful class. Over to you, Suguna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, only to add on to the Mataji, I did not see the name of that Mataji who was asking for her children. Once I happened to ask, when I was in New York, I was asking Narasimha Prabhu, who has filmed Srila Prabhupada's documentary. So I was asking, to give me advice, because most of the time we are in Dubai, so many devotees come across and come. So we were having association. So very beautifully he was explaining that, Sugna, my question was, should I put my children to Gurukula? So, and how to bring them up as see, when we are practicing devotee, always there's a fear, because only when our house, the moment the children go out, it's like, you are putting them happily in the mouth of the crocodile in the form of Maya, and you close your door. Yeah. So as mother, as father, you're always worried, but you cannot hold them. You cannot hold their progress. You cannot hold them, because this society, end of the day, they will see materially, their education, their upbringing, all those things. And only as parents, as rightly Srila Prabhupada said, that, and when I used to get up, I used to hear my father, doing kirtan, and mother did not wanted him to, do kirtan or play mridanga and all that. So this is always in every house. So the reply that I got was, you do your part, as rightly Mataji also was explaining, do your part. So honestly speaking, I was not that convinced. It went on, because my children were growing, and the elder one is 7th. So then when often we go to Mayapur, Vrindavan, so I asked one more devotee whom I know very closely. So I asked him, Prabhuji, can you guide? Because this is the right time I can put them in Gurukul and I can also be with them. So that's the time he said, why you want to put them in Gurukul? Is mother not a devotee? Is father not a devotee? Because they keep coming home. We have Gaunitai. So I said, yes, but I feel that sometimes I feel, oh, maybe, I have not done completely my job. So they said no. He lined up, they get darshan of the deities. So they are in that proximity of getting Lord's darshan every time. They are having offered prasad. Give them conducive environment. Try your best. That's what we understand from Rishabhadev also, 5.5.18 also says, So we try to do our best in the best way to not only take them to McDonald's, that okay, only eat finger chips and come, don't eat anything. No, we guide them. See, if you go to, these places, McDonald's or something, you have all the variety. How you will refrain yourself. So this is what the training we need to give them, that nothing is wrong, but what is your practice? That matters. So when you go with tilakam, with kanthimala, you definitely, people will have question, what is this? What is this? And you should have answer to that. When you carry tiffin in your school or in your college or anywhere, you don't allow them to put the hand, you give them as prasad, and they must ask you questions. This is how the small things as mother and father we can do. The rest you leave it up to the Lord. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you
Wonderfully
so much,
explained,
Mataji. It
Mataji.
was, yeah, Mataji, same. It was my question, Mataji. Thank you so much
Okay.
for
It is not
these
easy,
things.
Mataji. Being mother and father is not easy. I have my eldest son who is practicing as commercial pilot. Very difficult, very difficult. I cannot explain on this platform. The other one is in US. So every now and then, how we need to communicate with them. We communicate, we try to give our best. Moreover, our practice will always bring them back, pull them back. That is very important. Yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for this guidance.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat pranam, Mataji.
Anytime. Please put your questions, because we all, Prabhupada has said, Prabhupada has made this a system after any discourse, irrespective of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita or anything. There has to be a question and answer session. Why? Because there'll be different kind of speakers. Some may be very outspoken, somebody may be very intelligent, but there will be somebody who will have question. So without, maybe your question may be others' question also. So, and that's what we are understanding here also, that how Uddhava is rightly asking question, because it may be of benefit to others also. Please keep asking questions, please. I'm requesting you all. Thank you so much. So if no further questions, Mataji, we can close down for today. Everybody?
Yes, Mataji, no raised hands.
Sindhuvesha patitanam pavanebhyo So I was requesting you all, just trying to say that Navaratri is going on. Whoever's Kula Devi, whoever is worshipping, please, we should not stop. Do it, give them respect, because all the Devi Devatas, all the demigods also have a position. You need to respect them, honor them, and whatever your lineage has, being practicing, do not give up that. Stop that saying that, oh, now I am, so and so. No, don't do that. Yeah. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna, once again. So with permission, we can log out. Shilpa Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hey, Mataji, you don't need my permission. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. No. Because it's the etiquettes, because you are taking care in the mornings. Yeah. Thank you so much once again, with the promise that we will meet in the evening for Srimad Bhagwatam, which is first canto going on, and we are on the second chapter. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna to all devotees. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat pranam.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
pranam.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dhanvat Pranam Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.